So this is the first edition of More of the Wilderness. It's just a little video series I'm starting up here where I'm collecting a lot of footage from different hunting expeditions I've taken with my friends. Some good videos of us and our dogs as we hunt. Starting here with Montello duck hunting. We hunt on our buddy John Jolka's land in Montello. It's a series of different ponds in a restored wetland area. We're currently in the back long pond here during this trip. Jim and I, you can kind of see to the left of the card for his hat. We're having these two mallard coming around circling on several occasions here. And this year we ended up not doing quite as hot as we normally do. Tried to take some pokes at some distant birds, which, you know, sometimes you gotta let them fly when you're not getting lucky. But eventually we'd get lucky on a couple birds coming through. Again, not as much migration activity during this season, but we still always love getting up there, hunting with our buddies that we don't see quite as often now that we're out of college. And I'm hoping to get my dog trained up here for duck season one of these years, so I can bring him out. You'll be seeing him more in the upland video segments later. As you can see, these two mallard are swooping in low, waiting for him to follow. Made some pretty clean shots. Jim makes a good little final pop there. I refrain from making any finishing moves. That decision was me shooting way behind that bird.
No fucking way, dude. That really sucks. It actually went right towards the trail, though.
Which luckily ended up making a nice little find out there in the grass. We waited probably another, let's say, half hour, 45 minutes before I made the truck over there.
Jimmy.
Jim's now living in Kansas, so I'm hoping to make a trip down there one of these falls. Hopefully get some awesome footage of golden eyes and canvasback and mallard and different teal. I know that he's fallen into some pretty good concentrations of bird down there during this last season. I was out there studying the panfish, so I'll try to swing down there and see if we can't get some awesome footage
I have all the bush out there.
Out of the state.
Went straight in from the bush.
Duck hunting is the sunrises and sunsets. I'm just hearing wings whip through the air. thought it was a hen, but it was an immature drake.
No, it's a hen.
If you look close at the head there, when I was walking with it, you could definitely tell there were some green feathers on the head. I think I was a little too excited to have even found the thing.
No, it's like
to pay enough attention to that. So after the sun had kind of come up and we weren't seeing flight as much, we decided to poke into the honey hole. Jim took a shot on what he thought was a duck. Came to find out that it was actually a grebe. I took a poke there at a little teal that ended up kind of wheeling around, coming back over the willows. You don't really see him until right about there. Pretty much this whole trip I couldn't really get my shooting on point. Definitely not consistent, as pretty much everyone who's hunted with me will come to tell you as far as shooting birds. I'm either hitting them all or I'm hitting nothing. This is actually pretty close in the cattails where a couple years back I had to take a squat out there in the reeds and use my boxers to do some cleanup, which I'm sure the rest of my friends remember fondly. Now this is coming back on an evening hunt, coming on the other side of that pond, the far side where we were seeing some ducks land throughout the morning. So we decided to take a different approach, and we saw some small waterfowl on the water. I wasn't sure if they were coot or not. I'd shot coot in this pond previous years, so I didn't want to do that again. We eventually get pretty darn close here. The birds will take off and stayed low. I missed everything. Jim ended up plugging one.
Damn. Yep.
I believe it was another green-winged teal there. So then from our spot, we didn't really see much of anything over the evening hours. Couldn't really get anything to come in close. So this is about right at the end of the day. Ready to pick up decoys and come some wood ducks. My second shot there. Got to floor one of them.
Yep, and I got one down.
There was also an injured bird, or at least a shell-shocked bird in the vicinity a little further out on the pond. Took a finishing shot on the one that I knocked down. Tried to motion off. There was another head, but that one ended up flying away. Missed that.
Oh, right there.
That was that for that evening. I think we ended up with only about a dozen birds that trip. I think I only shot 3, so pretty weak. But I'm trying to get Barley trained up. He's a little bit cold, so I like to, baby him and cuddle him and try to warm him up on some of those mornings. We're sitting here under a tree in a pond kind of outside of the main El Dorado area. I ended up shooting a wood duck that I didn't get on camera, and this was Barley's retrieval after me yelling at him and trying to throw him in by my tree. The duck eventually blew over into the side of the pond, and here's his, I guess, retrieval in large quotation marks of a younger Drake Woody. Pretty darn happy with him. This was in his year and a half here, so the fact that he was willing to trudge through some of this cattail stuff made me pretty proud.
You do anything.
And also embarrassed for my loss of composure during the first failed retrieval. It's not good training. So
Let's get out of here.
here's another trip out to the same spot. There's some shallow ponds and stuff, lagoons running through all these cattails. So after a morning of sitting, when I'm not bringing birds in, I'll kind of watch where they landed, and I saw some land out these scattered ponds, and every once in a while I'll try to go pop them up. So we're just kind of walking the edge here. You're going to see some superb shooting by myself. Miss. So, yeah, ahead, behind, underneath, I'm all over the place. Nothing down. Barley just watching the dreams fly away. This last year, actually, in about the same spot, had 2 wood ducks get up. I didn't do much duck hunting, so this was actually the only one I got. Missed on my first shot, about the same scenario, shot it on the second, and then had to go out into those cattails. Barley was trudging along after me, being 2 years old at the time, and couldn't find the bird right away, and I was worried about him kind of fighting. A terrible poke at that goose there, but you know, gotta give her sometimes. I got Barley back to the shore because I was worried about him struggling through the cattails and being too excited. So got him to shore, took another line, went out for my wood duck again. Was looking around, I thought I had it pinned down pretty well. And ended up making a new line, going out there, and then he followed me up and found a bird belly down. I would have never found it. He did. That was my only duck this last year. This is a spot in El Dorado where I happened upon these guys releasing pheasant in the morning. I saw 2 of them go out into the field in front of me, 3 more go across the street into some private farmland. So we made a deep sweeping loop through the cover so we wouldn't be right on birds and actually get Barley working. There was that one. I knew it was in the general vicinity. Barley obviously didn't find it at first, but he did a good job at finding the down bird here in a minute. We also circled around by the creek after this, and my camera had died already, but went around by the creek. Barley made a good approach, slow, kind of pointed, came over the ridgeline, and there was a pheasant hunkered down right next to the creek. Got up and tried flying. I smoked it, put it into the creek. It started kind of floating downstream, and Barley went into the water and made a really nice water retrieval. Actually brought it up onto shore and dropped it in front of me. So that was another good one. 2 pheasant catching a limit that day. Got totally lucky with seeing them drop it off, obviously. But, again, you kind of take it when you can get it. Now we're at a different part of El Dorado, a little bit more popular. And this was a heck of a day for me in shooting. This was Barley's first time really getting on birds by himself. This was earlier, 2 seasons ago. He's a year and a half still. And they must have dropped him here earlier that morning because there was birds everywhere. I think I counted at least 3, if not 4 individual pheasant that we kicked out of here. And he actually did a pretty excellent job locking up on some of them. I just did a really bad job shooting. As you will see, kind of over and over here. That first shot I nicked him, he would wheel over across the
hit him that time.
tree line, go into a field. Barley ended up kicking him wild later. I didn't really get any good footage of that one, but he kicked it wild. It's actually the same bird you'll see a little bit later. Here's a completely different individual. Seeing tracks along this whole zone. Again, don't know. Especially that last shot, couldn't imagine. I missed that, but obviously did.
I missed that bird, I do not know.
That is a bird right by the lot at the end that I totally missed again. Ran out of ammo and patience. And that is the bird that I flushed about 4 different times. Went to the spot and finally found. Obviously,
get that bird,
very excited about hitting that bird. That was the one I nicked earlier.
There we go.
Good to not leave an injured bird out there.
Leave it, leave it. Alright. Yeah, buddy. We got him. Oh, man. Oh. Shot it 3 times. I knew where it was at. At least I thought I did. Great bird. Great bird. Finally got him. Wow.
Now here we got very faint body you can see there. Same general area, kind of different corner of the property. And this was this year. Bird went down, obviously folded there. I'm running in that direction, calling for Barley, and then I'm hearing him, you know, a good probably 30 yards away from where I thought the bird went down. So he must have went, scooped up that bird and took him away from the spot to play with him. But I was a little skeptical and had to go back and check that spot to make sure that he didn't just find a completely different bird. But beautiful rooster there, obviously. You'd also find a treat possum on the same trip. And this is, again, the same property, but a different wet corner. I had picked up a couple woodcocks, so what do you know? Started hunting for woodcock and caught one right there. Kind of blew him apart a little, but actually didn't end up completely destroying the breast.
Hang it here, right here.
But quite surprising actually to me, you know, finding, I think I flushed 3 different woodcock in that area. Pretty medium, middle of the woodcock season, and hey, you get what you can. This is another spot, obviously, just being stupid.
A handful of steps, so it would be staying when you do that. I'm gonna do something stupid.
Plant foot was way short of the mark.
That was stupid! Yep, that was dumb. Totally worth getting on this.
So,